Recording. All right, everyone. Welcome to Project SOAR Fits. My name is Aron. I am the program coordinator with Project SOAR, which is part of Access of Wilmington. Access of Wilmington provides adapted sports and recreation for people with disabilities. Project SOAR is our program for military veterans. So this class is actually live on Zoom, but I'm also recording it. So you may be watching this on YouTube. I sometimes have people pop on live with me. It doesn't look like anyone's on yet today. So when I say that this is an adapted fitness class, if there are people who are here with me or live, I will adapt it to whatever their needs are specifically. Otherwise, on a day like today, I will offer various types of adaptations just based on some of the typical things that people have asked for, or that I know might help with some of the injuries that people are working with. But if you're doing this with me on YouTube and we get to an exercise and the offerings I've given you just don't seem to make sense for whatever you're working with, please reach out to me. We can figure out a way to make these workouts work for you. We just may have to change the orientation or just, work a little bit with a different angle or something like that. It's usually pretty easy to figure out a way to make it work once I understand what we're working with. So I just really encourage you, if you just start this and you're like, hey, I just don't think this is working for me, to reach out and let me know what we can do to make it work better. I also like to point out that these are classes intended to make you functionally fit. They're functional fitness classes. And what that means is I'm not trying to make anyone an influencer or to have six-pack abs. But I am hoping that any of the workouts that we do together help you be more functional in your life. And that's in your everyday life, the things that you need to do to work or be with your family and do kind of, your day-to-day things like cook and care for yourself. But also because this is a program about recreation, it's to help you be functional in whatever you want to do for your own enjoyment. So we do all sorts of really cool, fun activities with Project SOAR. Hopefully you've had a chance to join us. If not, I hope you do in the future. We go scuba diving, we go surfing, we do archery, we do yoga, we do bow fishing and sailing. Let's see what else. I'm going to forget stuff. We're going to start cycling again soon. So there's lots of things that we do. We're always kind of adding new programs and things like that for people's recreation. And we just want to make sure that when you come out and you do this with us, that you are able to enjoy as much of it as possible, that you're able to have the endurance, the strength, the balance, and the flexibility that you need so that you can participate fully, or as fully as you would like to and are able to. So that's what we work on in these classes. We work on things like endurance, like cardiovascular endurance. We work on strength, we work on balance, work on flexibility. And those are what you'll see in these programs. I will do a quick little review before we actually get started of the exercises that we're going to do together in this fitness class. And the reason I like to do this at the beginning is because this makes it easier for me to show you some different ways that you might adapt some of these exercises. You see I have a chair behind me in addition to my mat. So you don't need any special fancy equipment. If you have hand weights or like the stretchy exercise bands or anything like that, that's great. You can use them for some of the exercises to increase your intensity. But really you either just need a place to sit or just an open enough area that you can move around. And I will show you some different ways that you can do things standing, lying down, or seated in your chair or using your chair for balance. So before, like I said, we get started on the workout itself, I'm going to show you the exercises we're going to do today, and then we'll get started. So we're going to do a HIIT style workout, and HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. So we are going to time our exercises. I'm going to give us a minute for each exercise. I'm going to do this at a ratio of 50 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest, but it's really more like transition because we move right on to the next exercise. If you need to make that ratio a little different, you can stick with that minute and divide it up into 40-20 or 30-30. So if you need more rest, feel free to take it. When I say cardio, I'll show you some options when we warm up of different types of cardio you can do. But really it's just anything that gets your blood pumping. I usually just stick with kind of jogging or marching it out because that's just the easiest thing for me. But you can do jumping jacks, you can do jump rope, you can do punches, you can do burpees, like whatever allows you to just get your heart rate up. And you can mix it up. You don't always have to do the same thing. So you'll be several times where I mentioned this is a cardio part, and just do whatever cardio you want. First exercise we're doing besides cardio is a squat with an alternate leg lift. So I usually like to do these with my feet shoulder distance or maybe a little wider, toes wider than heels. We're going to keep our bodies really upright for these squats. So we're not going to lean over. We're going to keep our shoulders over our hips, bend the knees, lower the hips. You don't have to come super far, go as far as your range of motion allows. Press up through the heels to come back to standing, squeeze those glutes, and then we shift our weight and raise one leg out to the side, really squeezing that glute. And then we come back down, we squat down again, and then we do that same leg lift on the other side, squat, lift. If you are working out from your chair today, can't really lower down into a squat, but we can bring the knees up. So get that same movement in our joints, but we go from the bottom up instead of from the top down. So I like to do this as a heel raise, and then you can either lift that leg or slide it. So if you're not going to lift your leg up, you can slide it out. I'm going to lift mine up because my mat's in the way, but you do that heel lift, slide on the other side, heel lift, slide on the other side. So those are two different ways you can do a squat alternate leg lift, either standing or seated. The next exercise is going to be alternating lunges. I'm going to turn to the side here so that you can see. And I'm going to give you an option here. You can either do a step back into your lunge and then switch sides, or you can do a step forward and come down, step back, and then step forward with the other foot. So whichever feels better for your joints, feel free to pick which one just feels more natural to you. You can see I was a little off balance there. I've got some problems with my knees. You could always use a wall or a chair just to help steady you. And if you're doing your workout from your chair, from a seated position, this can be another opportunity to do a knee lift and then come back down. Knee lift and then come back down. So that would be how you would do that seated. So we're going to do a knee lift. You can even use your hands to help support and lift that leg up and then come back down, up and back down. So those are alternating lunges. We're going to stick with this lunge theme and do alternating side lunges. So for this, feet go even wider than they were earlier for that lunge or for that squat. And we'll go down to one side, bend this knee, get a nice stretch here, press through that heel to come back to the middle, squeezing that glute again, and then we come to the other side. So that's the movement for an alternating side lunge. And again, if you're practicing this seated, this can either be a kick out to one side and then the other, or again, if you want to keep your feet on the ground and not lift them up, it can be a slide out, slide out. Then we're going to have an opportunity to do another little burst of cardio, keep that heart rate up. And then we're going to move on to some arm and shoulder exercises. So the first arm and shoulder exercise is going to be a combo. We're going to do two different types of curls. We're going to do a curl with our palms forward. You can make a fist. You could even put, like I said, a hand weight or something in there if you wanted more intensity. Curl up, lower down, and then rotate the palms towards your body. That's the hammer curl, up and down. And then we just go back and forth between those two. And you can do this standing or seated. The movement in the arms is exactly the same. Nothing changes. We want to sit up nice and tall or stand up nice and tall, stay firm in the belly, pulling the belly back towards the spine. So even when we're exercising our arms, we're getting a core workout. Next exercise after that, we're going to switch to working more in our shoulders and chest. So we'll have our hands at shoulder height. We're just a little bit above. Again, you can put a weight in your hands if you want. Press up. Come back down. Let's stop with the elbows at about shoulder height and then do a fly. So squeezing the forearms towards each other, back out, and then we go back to that press, lower, fly. So another little opportunity for a combo there. And again, that's going to look the same in the movement, whether you're standing or seated. If your range of motion is a little bit different because of an injury, that's fine. Go as far as you're able to without injuring yourself. After those two upper body exercises, we're going to do another little round of cardio. Just keep that heart rate up. And then we're going to come into some floor work. We're going to do the same thing on each side. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on the floor on one side and then show you what it looks like on the chair on the other. So we'll start with one knee kneeling down, our hands supporting ourselves and the other leg extended out. So we're in sort of a plank supported by that knee. And then we're going to do a side bend. So this is a crunch. This is actually going to get some core work here. And we're going to side bend up and then cartwheel back down to that support and then lift that leg. So another little combo here. Side bend, leg lift. That's what it looks like on the floor. And then I'm going to show you what that looks like seated. Now I'm using my foot wrapped around the leg just to help me kind of stabilize myself and balance. If it feels better for you to have that foot out in front or to secure yourself in some other way, I can scooch myself out to the edge of the chair so I'm able to extend this leg out. This might be one where you need to play around with how you're arranging yourself so that you feel stable and supported. But we do a really similar movement. We come up into that side bend, come back to that supported position, and then you could do a leg lift here. Another thing you could do a slide forward if that leg lift isn't an option that's good for you today. So side bend, and then either a leg lift or you can do that slide forward and back. So that gets us to 10 exercises, including the cardio. We're going to do another cardio burst. That's number 11. And then we're going to do some more core work. So I'm going to show you on the mat. We'll do an alternating knee crunch. So the knee lifts up. We take the opposite elbow to that knee. Come back down. Switch sides. If that's more intensity than you need, you can keep your feet still and go side to side without moving the legs. Or you could do the legs without moving in the upper body. So there's some different ways you can play with that. It's going to look really similar. Here, you can either lift the knee up as you bring the elbow down, or you can divide it up. Bring the elbow down towards the knee without moving the legs, or stay upright and lift the legs. Final thing is flutter kicks. Since I'm already in the chair, I'll show you what those look like here, and then I'll show you on the mat. So again, you may have to play with where you need to be on your chair so you feel supported, and then we'll flutter kick. Right now, I have both legs lifted, and I'm alternating my legs. You could keep your feet on the ground and lift one and then the other. And you could also put a little bend in the knees. So when you put a bend in the knees, it takes some of that intensity out. So the more your legs are bent, the less intensity, the more they're extended, the more intensity, just that action of a lever. And that holds true when we're on the mat as well. You can flutter kick both legs up. If you have your legs a little higher, it might be a little less intense. As you get down to here, it's a little more intense. So you can control some intensity there, and also control intensity by how much or how little of a bend you have in your knees. And then that'll be it. So what we'll do is we'll move through all 13 of those twice. Each one takes a minute because we do 50 seconds of work, 10 seconds of transitioning. We'll get a minute between just to rest and get a drink of water. And then that's what it'll look like. So we'll start with a little warm up, then we'll move into what we just demonstrated, and then we'll do a cool down. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start my smartwatch so I can track my workout. And we'll just do 2 minutes of a warm up. If you've already done some movement today, that's great. Maybe you might already be ready, but we'll just do 2 minutes. I usually divide it up into little 30-second things of different types of cardio. You can play with this however you want. I'm going to start with the jog. Let's go. So first 30 seconds, I'm going to jog it out. Everything's feeling kind of okay today. So I don't mind having a little bit of high impact. Sometimes if I need more low impact, I'll march it out or step it out. So again, listening to your body, what it needs today, how you feel, how much energy you have. This is your workout. I'm here to kind of guide you and give you ideas, but ultimately you decide how much effort and how much intensity you give to each exercise throughout this entire workout. Oh, that was more than 30 seconds. Let's move on to jumping jacks. And again, you can do traditional jumping jacks. That's a little much on my shoulder today. So, because I'm rehabbing an injury. So I'm going to do seal jacks and keep my shoulders a little lower. You could also keep this low impact. And you can also do this from a chair. So remember, play with this as you will. About 30 seconds went fast because we started late. Let's move on and do punches. This will really get your heart rate up, especially if you really put effort into it and really twist it out. These can be done seated or standing. So if you are working out from a chair today, really recommend that you put some effort into this. That's really going to get your heart rate up. And the last 30 seconds, I'm going to keep that movement, that twisting movement. I'm going to take the arms out of the equation and do this as a twist. So again, these are just some of the options I like to do. You can stick with the whole thing, the whole 2 minutes, or you can play with this any way that you'd like. I just really want you to get a little warmed up before we start into the workout proper. We're also going to do a little bit of dynamic stretching to get all our joints and muscles ready to work out, and then we'll start that workout that I demonstrated. All right, that was 2 minutes. Let's move on to that dynamic stretching. So we talked a little bit about doing squats as part of our workout. We're going to do squats as part of our warm-up, mostly just to kind of check in with our joints. So I'll start with my feet close together. And again, if you're practicing seated, substitute this for a heel lift. And we're just do a few of them, just like 5. And we're not even trying to get our cardio up. We already did that. Let's see if we can keep our shoulders over our hips, and bend our knees, bend the hips, and then press down and come back up. And let's just do that a few times and just notice any place that you might need to be aware of as you're working out today so that you can avoid injuring yourself. And after you do a few of those, let's take it a little wider, maybe about hip or shoulder distance, that general area. Same thing. Just seeing how your body feels before you put it under a little bit of stress. And then let's take it out even wider. This one will be wider than the shoulders, and we'll even turn the toes out. Keeping the body upright. Let's move through just a few of these. Getting all those joints lubricated, getting the muscles used to contracting and stretching. All right, I think that's good. Let's think about moving through our spine a little bit. If you've done yoga before, you know that we can come to our hands and knees and do cat-cow. You can also do that seated with your hands on your thighs. We just want to let the spine arch, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, and then reverse it, rounding the back, tucking the tailbone, looking down at your thighs. And just roll through that a few times. Again, just getting the spine warmed up. If you're not familiar with what I meant by doing that seated, it looks just like this. I'm going to tilt my chair so you can see. So we're moving the spine in two different directions, forward and back. Let's do one more. Beautiful. All right. We're going to be using our hips a lot today. So let's warm up that hip joint. I'm going to do them standing today and use my chair just to help with my balance, but you could also do this sitting down. You might just want to scooch to the edge of your chair. And we're going to make circles to that hip joint. So bending that knee, opening it out to the side, and coming around and down. Again, nice and slow. Just feeling out that range of motion. And then after about 5 times, we'll switch directions. Excellent. And then let's switch to the other side. I'm sorry, no, let's kick that leg out and swing it forward and back. And then side to side. And now we'll switch sides. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side, making circles to that hip joint in one direction for about 5 times, and then we switch and go the other way. Oh, my hips are extra poppy today. Let's go the other direction. And then let's kick that leg out in front and swing it to the back, getting that forward and backward movement through that hip joint a few times. And then warm it up by going side to side in front. Excellent. These are great to do just in general, just when you wake up in the morning, just get everything going. Let's see, let's do more of the upper body because we're going to be using our shoulders a lot today. So let's shrug up and back. And you can keep your hands just nice and loose at your side, or if it feels better to you to put your hands on your shoulders and make those circles with your elbows, or to extend your arms all the way out, you can. You can even mix it up like I did and do a combo. And then let's switch directions, either picking your favorite or mixing it up and doing a little bit of more than one. And here we go. And then after we do those shoulder rolls, let's think about getting some movement in the top of the shoulders, the neck, kind of even up into the back of the head where we tend to hold a lot of tension. So let's let our right ear fall down towards our right shoulder. You can stay here just like this. You don't need to change anything, but sometimes it's nice to even explore this and tilt the chin down towards your shoulder, or maybe tilt the chin up towards the ceiling. And you can continue to do that as a movement, or as you're exploring, if you find there's one place that you just really need to spend some time in to allow it to open up, feel free to pause, breathe into that, and then come back to moving whenever you're ready. And then let's go ahead and take the chin back down to the chest and switch to the other side. So now we're going to kind of explore that stretching sensation on the other side of the neck, either by staying still or by exploring that range of motion a little bit. Maybe one more time. Excellent. Let's let chin come to chest, look back up. We're going to start our workout proper in just a moment or two. Go ahead and get a drink of water, anything you need. I actually realized I left my phone with my timer downstairs, so I'm going to grab it and then we'll get started. right, friends. Let's start at about 15 seconds. So finish up whatever you need to finish up so that you can be ready to start in 15 seconds. Remember, we're going to start with cardio. So you can do any of those that I demonstrated earlier or anything that gets your heart pumping. We're going to do it for 50 seconds. Let's go. I'm going to come right back to that jog. And remember, not even doing this for a whole minute, we're only doing this for 50 seconds. And then we have 10 seconds to get ready for that next exercise. And remember, I said that if you wanted to change that ratio, you can. We'll just stick with that minute. We're halfway through. We'll stick with that minute time frame, but you can play with the ratio.
Seconds.
10 more seconds. You might even hear my timer come through. I think I turned it up loud enough you can hear. Rest. Now we'll move on to those squats with the alternative leg lift. If you're practicing from the chair, remember you can do a heel lift and then slide that leg out. So squat and lift. Squat and lift. I demonstrated all those exercises at the beginning so that you would be able to choose what you thought would work best for you. So as we're doing the workout together, I may not demonstrate the one that you're doing. The next round, I'll probably do different exercises just so that everyone can see them. But feel free to do the exercise that works best for you, even if I'm not currently demonstrating it.
10 seconds.
10 more seconds. And then we'll get that little break to move on to our next exercise. All right, 10 seconds. Next are those alternating lunges, either forward or backward, whichever feels better for your body.
Let's go.
Let's go. You can go faster if you need to. My knees are a little wonky, so I'm going to keep it slow so that I can maintain my balance as I move through these. So take it as slow as you need to so that you can be safe. You'll still get stronger, and we are moving enough that you'll still keep your heart rate up. And remember, you can always add weight to this. I'm doing this with just my body weight, but if you wanted to hold on to hand weights, you could, or like a kettlebell in the middle. All right, 10 seconds, and then we're gonna do those alternating side lunges. So go ahead and take your feet wide. Get ready.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. Then press through that heel to come up. Other side. You may have to play with this to get to right angle so that your knee is aligned with your ankle and your hip. That way you can bend your knee without it injuring the knee. So feel free to play with those angles so that it works for your joints. Same thing with the range of motion. If coming really low causes you pain, don't come quite so deep. Maybe come to about 75 or 80% of that and see how that feels. That way you can continue to build strength without injuring yourself. 10 more seconds. All right, 10 seconds. We're going to move on to cardio. Remember, whatever kind of cardio you want.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. I'm going to come back to that jog. Halfway through this cardio. By the way, this is exercise number 5 out of 13. So you're getting close to being halfway through the entire set of exercises.
10 seconds.
10 more seconds. All right, we're moving on to that upper body workout. I'm actually going to grab some small hand weights for myself just to increase the intensity.
Let's go.
But you can do this without weights. So curl and then switch that angle to a hammer curl, and we'll switch it right back to a regular bicep curl. So just changing that angle. We're just getting that bicep muscle at a slightly different angle. Our elbows are staying at our sides, so we're not moving them forward and back.
Halfway there.
Just bringing the forearms up towards the shoulders. See that? And again, you can do exactly this seated.
Ten seconds.
I apologize if you hear any background noise. There is work going on outside, so you may hear some power tools. 10 seconds until we move on to that shoulder press and fly. Again, with or without weights.
Let's go.
Let's go. So press up into the shoulder press, come back down, elbows at shoulder height, squeeze those forearms together, pull it back, and then press back up. And we're going to repeat that.
Halfway there. Ten seconds.
All right, just a little bit more of this. And my shoulders are screaming.
Rest.
And we get a chance to rest for just a little bit before we move on to cardio.
Let's go.
All right, get moving, get that heart rate up. Your choice on what that is going to be.
Halfway there.
Keep it moving. This is exercise number 8 out of 13. We're coming down to the ground if you're practicing outside the chair for those kneeling side bends with leg lifts.
Rest.
10 seconds to transition down to the floor. Remember those chair options. I'll show them to you next round again.
Let's go.
So let's do that side bend up and over. Cartwheel back down, leg lift. If this seems a little too intense, drop the leg lift and stick with the side bend instead. As you get more endurance and more strength, you may add that later. And remember, you don't have to go the same pace as me. We're doing this timed so that you can go at your own pace. So you can go faster if you want to have more intensity from going faster, or you can go slower. And sometimes going slower is more intense. So don't always think that you're going to get less intensity by going slower. We're switching sides, straight over to the other side. Cartwheel up, back down. This is really getting into those oblique muscles of our waist. This is really important to our ability to move. And even though I told you I'm not going to get you 6-pack abs, movements like these are really helpful for kind of giving us that V shape. around our middle as we work through those oblique muscles. So if that is something that you would like to either achieve or maintain, this is actually a really good exercise for that. All right, coming back to cardio now.
Let's go.
This is our last cardio session for this round. We have 2 more exercises after this for both ab exercises. Then we get a little break, and then we repeat everything we just did. The next round, I'm going to show probably the exercises from the chairs as my demonstration. But if you want to stay on your feet and on the mat, and that's how you want to work out today, feel free to do those versions. I just want to make sure that I'm showing those for everybody. The squeaky part of my floor. Here we go. That's a little better.
10 seconds.
All right, little chance to rest before we move on. I'm going to come right back down to the mat because we're going to do those alternating knee to elbows.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm bringing my feet back down to the mat between each one. But again, if you were ever wanting more intensity, you could have your feet stay at this tabletop position and like extend the leg and then bring it in. It's a little awkward for me.
Halfway.
I can't quite get the rhythm right, so I'm going to stick with this. But basically, keeping your feet lifted just adds to the intensity.
10 seconds. Rest.
All right, one more exercise this round, and we get a little bit of time to rest, and then we'll pick it back up. Last round. Here's those flutter kicks. Now, if you're on the floor like me, I want you to really think about pressing your low back into the mat, like actually feel it touching the floor underneath you. If you let it rise up, then you could injure your low back or just make it kind of sore. So that may change the way that you do your legs. You may notice that if you take your legs lower, your back comes up. And if that happens, press your low back down and bring your legs to where you can maintain that. And like I said, as you build strength in your core, you'll be able to maintain that at a lower level. So this will be something that you're working with over time. Oh, here's that rest. Now, I think I said we'd get a minute, but I think I had my timer with only a 30-second rest. So if you need longer, hit that pause button and then come back in. I'm just going to go with how the timer is. So after that rest is over, we'll start with cardio again. Like I said, this round, I'm going to demonstrate everything seated. You can do whatever works best for you. We're about to start.
Let's go.
All right, I'm going to punch it out as my cardio here from the chair. I am rooted down through my sits bones, that bony part of my seat, and I'm twisting it out as I punch. That adds more intensity, so I'm getting a good core workout as well as my arms and shoulders, and it's definitely making my heart rate come up. You could even do these punches standing, so if you are getting bored with whatever cardio you're doing and you want to mix it up, you can do these punches seated or standing. So even if you're doing your workout standing today, you could still do this.
Seconds.
All right, next is that squat with an alternate leg lift. So you're going side to side after each squat, lifting your leg out to the side. If you're following me seated, we're gonna lift the heels, lower them down, and extend this leg out. Lift, lower, other leg. And like I said, I'm lifting my foot off the ground. You could also do this as a slide and keep your foot on the ground. I just find that I keep kicking my mat if I don't lift my foot up.
Halfway there.
Halfway through this. I love showing these chair
10
versions
seconds.
because I have injured myself more than once and been told that I have to keep the weight off my foot or my ankle or whatever it is that's injured. Rest. And then I feel like I get out of shape. We're going to come to those alternating lunges next. So if you're following me, we're going to do alternating knee lifts. But the nice thing about being able to work out from a chair is I can follow my doctor's orders and not put anything weight bearing on the injury, but I can still keep myself in shape so that once I'm healed, I'm not playing catch up so much. So if you ever find yourself in that position, this is a really great way to stay in shape, and you actually heal faster when you keep your blood flow going and you're just overall healthier, which is, I think, what most of us
10
want if we get
seconds.
hurt.
Rest.
All right, next exercise number 4 is those alternating side lunges. I'm going to do that again as a kick out from one side to the other. So let's go. If you're standing, just repeat what we did before. You could also kick it up. I'm going to do that again because otherwise I keep sliding into this mat.
Halfway there.
Part of what makes this work our core is holding our upper body steady. So if I kind of kick from side to side and I'm kind of shifting, then I'm kind of off balance and I could
10
fall.
seconds.
So I really want you, if you're practicing from the chair, to try to root down through your sits bones, draw in on your abdominal muscles, keep your body, upper body stable, and make all of that happen from the lower body. Little rest, and then we move back to cardio.
Let's go.
This time I'm going to do that twist. I like to put my hands behind my head for this. You can put your hands at your waist or at your side. You can even bring them out to the side. Woo. Yeah, I can feel that. I'm going to keep them behind my head. But I encourage you to have fun with this. The workout that is best for anyone is the one that you actually do. So whatever you can do to make yourself want to do these workouts, to have a little fun with them, maybe play some music. I don't play music. One, because it's kind of hard to
10
hear me.
seconds.
2, because I don't have the copyrights and we can get in trouble. And 3, because everyone likes different music. So since you're doing this at home,
Rest.
if you like working out to music, if that's motivating for you, I highly recommend getting a playlist, putting one together that you like.
Let's go.
Let's go. We're going to do those bicep and hammer curls. I'm going to do these using the stretch band. So I put it under the chair. I'm coming up. I'm changing the angle of my hands. I'm coming up to that hammer curl. So palms up, palms towards the body. So just showing you that you can use these bands as well to create a little bit more intensity. If you want some bands, I can actually get some for you. So feel free to call me at the number that's in the description
10 seconds.
or text me at that number. We have some of these out of the Access office, so I can get them for you. Rest and get ready for those shoulder presses and flies. And I think this might be long enough for me to use. Let's see and find out.
Let's go.
So press up, come to shoulder height, squeeze. Look at that. That did work. Up. Ooh, and that's tough too. These are no joke. Up, down, together, out. These are also going to be tough with body weight only. So if you don't have anything to add intensity, don't worry about it. You're still going to get stronger. You just really have to put your mind into it. So try not just to kind of flop around. Try to really think about using your muscles, almost like you're moving your body through like wet cement or, I don't know, like syrup or something like that, something thick that you have to work to move through. Ooh, I'm going to be feeling that. We're going to move on to cardio again. I'm going to punch it out again. Let's go.
Halfway there.
All right, halfway through this cardio. And then we just have 5 more exercises and then we cool down and stretch. You guys are doing great. We're doing great on time. Excellent. We're coming into those right kneeling side bends with the leg lift. I'm going to do these in the chair. Remember, this is what it looks like, but we're doing pretty much the same movement, whether we're on the mat or we're on the chair. And there's ways to make the intensity go up or down, depending on what you need right now. Remember, one of the ways to control that intensity is how quickly you're moving. So feel free to slow it down, take little breaks if you need to. Or intentionally slow it down and really feel this to help you really find those muscles and use them. We're going to move that to the other side.
Let's go.
Here we go.
There. Ten seconds.
All right. Get ready to come to our last cardio session for today. And then we have 2 ab exercises and then we cool down.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm coming back to those punches. The more you're able to rotate through that torso, the more that makes this a core exercise. So we're really twisting through the spine and rotating and using those oblique muscles of our abdomen. But again, make sure you're able to do this in stable. If you feel like you're kind of almost like you're falling, maybe slow this down and really think about your movement so that you can stay steady and in control. Awesome. We're going to do those alternating knee to elbow crunches. Again, you can do those on the mat the way I demonstrated last time, or you can follow me seated. I'm lifting up my knee and crunching my elbow down to my knee at the same time. but you could also do one or the other.
Halfway there. Ten seconds. Rest.
Last exercise coming up, we're doing those flutter kicks. I'm going to hold on to the sides of my seat and sort of lean back so that I can be steady in these. Even if you're seated and not on the mat, that instruction to pull the navel into spine is still a really important part of this exercise. That's what's going to keep you from overutilizing the muscles in your low back. So if you find your low back is hurting, maybe come up a little bit, maybe take some of that pressure off, keep your legs a little lower, maybe bend the knees a little, to see where you can keep that engagement without straining the low back.
10 seconds. Well done.
All right, our HIIT workout is done. We still have a few minutes left. It's really important we take this time to cool down and stretch. If you need to take a little break, get a drink of water, use the bathroom, feel free to hit pause and come back, but please don't skip this part. I'm going to move right into it so that we don't run out of time. So let's start by stretching the front of our leg. We did a lot of squats and lunges today, so I want to make sure that this front part of our thigh, our quadricep muscle group, gets a good stretch. So I'm going to do this standing. You could also do this lying down, or you could do it seated in your chair. But I'm going to bend this leg and reach back to either my ankle or the top of my foot and pull this towards me. I want to try to keep the front of the body open. So I'm not lifting my knee towards me and collapsing the front of my body. I'm pulling the leg back. So you see that bent knee is actually behind my other knee. If that is a difficult posture for you to get into, a difficult position, it is helpful to maybe use something like an old belt or a strap. Put it on your foot. And then even if you're not able to grab onto that foot itself, you could still use that to make that connection and get that stretch. So it doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to go buy a bunch of expensive equipment. If you've got an old belt from a robe or something like that, it will work just fine. Just make sure it's long enough for you to grab onto. All right, let's take a couple more breaths here. And we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. So not only are we stretching the front of that thigh, we're also getting a stretch here in the hip flexor, which is going to help us with balance. It's also going to help release some of the things that cause low back pain. And this also gets a stretch in our shoulder and our chest, because when I said not to collapse, if I collapse, I'm not getting that stretch. But if I do this, all the front of the body, even the abdominal muscles, are getting a little stretch. Beautiful job. All right. Come down to the mat, and we're going to do another abdominal stretch. So if you lie down on your belly, you could put your hands right where your shoulders and chest meet, and then press up and lift through the chest, drawing the shoulder blades together into a cobra stretch. Another option is to stay on your forearms like a sphinx and stretch like a sphinx. And if you are seated, and I'm not going to come all the way to the chair, but you could put your hands in your lap just like this, draw the shoulder blades back, lift the chest, and you're getting that same sensation. You're getting to stretch the front of the body. So do whichever variation lets you get a nice stretch in the front of the body. Take a few breaths. And then we're gonna be seated either on your mat or on your chair. We're gonna take the legs wide and extend them out. They don't have to be like big splits, but just a little wider than your shoulders if you're able to. The knees can be bent. In fact, I don't want anyone to lock out their knees, so don't worry about trying to get them perfectly straight. Just have a little bend in there. But try to resist that urge to let them fall open. See if you can use the strength in your thighs and your abdominal muscles to rotate so that they're pointing straight up. And then we're going to do a little stretch here. We're going to aim towards that left foot. If you can't reach your foot, it's okay. You can use your hands on your leg or on the floor. If you can reach your foot, that's fine too. It's not necessarily the goal. But if it feels good to make that connection and you can't quite touch, again, here's a good time to use like an old belt or something. Come back out of this whenever you're ready, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. See if you can resist the urge to round through your back to go deeper. See if you can make the fold deeper by pulling your belly in and then hinging through that hip crease. So the movement to go forward comes from that hip joint rather than from articulating your spine. Back up through center. And let's do one more right down the middle. Again, you can reach your hands forward. I always find I tend to round my back if I do that. So I'm going to bring my hands behind me so that I can keep the chest open. Let's come up. We're going to cross our right ankle over our knee. You can do that lying down, or if you're seated, you could do that seated. You can stay here just like this. There's already a lot happening, a lot of stretching going on. Some people like how it feels though to bring their legs in closer to their chest, so you are welcome to do that. And if you're seated and you like that, you would do it the opposite way. You bring your chest down to your thighs. And from here, that just gives you a little freedom if you feel like there's any movement that you want to make through that knee that's on the lifted leg or through the ankle. You could even rock a little side to side. And then let's come back to sitting tall if you're seated, or lower that foot down if you're on the ground like me, and we'll switch sides. Same thing on this side. And then let's all come to a seated position, either on your chair or on the floor. We'll do a little stretch again in the chest, bringing the hands behind your back. If your fingers don't interlace, again, you can use an old belt here and grab onto either end. And then let's release. One arm across the chest, hook right around where the tricep is. Give that shoulder a little stretch. release. Let's do the other side. And this is our last stretch. We're out of time. I don't want to take it any longer. If there's any other stretches you want to do, feel free to do them so that you can feel rested and restored and move about through your day and do all the fun things that you want to do. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you in person soon. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.